It's a wild, crazy theory.
Yeah.
But what I'm essentially saying is, I would never waste my time trying to figure out how long anything is.
Yeah.
And I'm the type of person that would entertain the idea that if you seek an answer, it will be there, and it'll be as complex as you want it to be, and it'll be as mathematically exact as you want it to be.
But maybe as challenging as
you want it to be. Bingo. But what if it's a lot more simple than that? You can manifest all of it just by, it's God, baby. It can manifest whatever it wants, either as simple or complex or as mysterious as it wants to.
Welcome, modern day mystics, fellow truth seekers. James and Justin here with another reaction video, and in this one we are going to look at how the universe was created according to Hinduism, and this is done by the Indian Monk YouTube channel.
Cool.
So this one's a little bit lengthy, so we'll just get into this and unpack it.
The universe is a mystery that has always puzzled mankind. How was it created? And who is responsible for creation? In Hinduism, there are many theories about how the universe was created in the earliest days. Let's explore some of them. In Hinduism, the universe is not one single entity. There are an infinite number of universes that are constantly being created and destroyed. In other words, we live in a universe that belongs to a multiverse. A universe will ultimately die, but the multiverse lives on. Lord Vishnu is a personification of this multiverse. According to Hinduism, Lord Vishnu was asleep in the cosmic ocean of all causes before the creation of the universe. His bed is a giant serpent with thousands of cobra-like hoods. The universe was created in a triad of roles: creator, maintainer and destroyer. Lord Vishnu is the maintainer. Lord Brahma is the creator. Lord Shiva is the destroyer.
Leave it to Hinduism, man. Their artwork is always a psychedelic trip, whatever it is.
Yeah.
It's amazing that they've, have this tradition. And one thing that I noticed right off the bat, the narrator said that they have many stories about how the universe created. So it's not like just one story.
Yeah.
It's just maybe it's just ideas of it, or I find it strange that you can have many ways that you think the universe came to being.
Right. Yeah. And are there new stories created about how the universe was created, or is it just what's there is there and that's it? Because it is such a multitude and such a psychedelic situation with their stories.
Yeah, that's one thing I really don't know about Hinduism. Is it locked, or is any of the tradition now allowed to be changed or modified? Can there be new gods added now?
Have they ever experienced the Mandela effect? Is it when I was a kid, Vishnu made it this way, and then something happened since the Hadron Collider smashed together and this new timeline?
Yeah.
One interesting thing, I don't know if this has got anything to do with anything, but I had a dream years ago when I was in kind of a bad place, of something that seemed like a Hindu type god or demon or something. It was this kind of blue guy with a mustache, and he seemed sort of devious, and he was and there was a bunch of he was stretching out with a bunch of heads or something like that, and I was in this domed thing.
Wow.
Yeah, if you're Hindu and you know who that character is that showed up in my
if
dreams,
you're doling out dreams, I'm going to dole out a dream I had last week.
Let's hear it.
I was walking up and down the road in a countryside, and a wall of heads started massive, mega head structure of all these heads started coming towards me. And I remember in the dream feeling I gotta get out of the way and hide. And it didn't hurt me. It just like a monolith passed by me
of heads.
And of heads. It was really weird.
Yeah. I could talk about dreams for a long time.
Yeah, let me know if that's a special dream or something.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's continue.
The universe was created through the actions of Lord Vishnu, who slept and let a lotus bloom from his navel. The lotus stem represents the creation of the universe, while Brahma is found at the flower's center and represents the creator. The time it takes for one universe to be created and the next one to end is also the duration of one breath of Lord Vishnu. When he exhales, thousands of universes come into being and a new Brahma is born in each one. But when Lord Vishnu inhales, all universes get sucked in and Brahma dies. Lord Brahma represents the universe that we live in. He creates all life forms and is responsible for the physical world that we live in. Lord Vishnu is the personification of the eternal multiverse. He is responsible for the continuation of life in all universes. Brahma is the representation of our temporary physical universe, while Vishnu is the representation of the eternal multiverse that exists forever without any beginning or end.
Why does he have 4 arms? I asked this a while ago, one of our earlier videos, earliest videos. I remember asking, why is there 4 arms though? Do you know the answer?
Maybe it's a symbol of divinity or something. I find it incredible that they had all these concepts of multiple universes in these ancient traditions. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, actually. Yeah, that is a really big point, actually.
Oh.
Yeah.
The current universe represented by Brahma is not permanent. In fact, it's quite temporary. Brahma only lives for 100 years and then he dies and a new universe will be born. Now, let's talk about time measurements. Brahma lives for 100 years and each year of Brahma has 360 days. And we are currently on the first day of the 51st year of his reign. There are day and night. During the day, Brahma creates life, and during the night, all life he created is absorbed back into him. Therefore, we will only be there for this day of Brahma, which is the first day of his 51st year. But don't be sad. Let me promise you that this is quite a long day. Yug, large units of time. Think of Yug as a unit of time that is measured in thousands to millions of years. The Vishnu Puran, an ancient Hindu text, has details about these Yug measurements. A Mahayug is made up of 4 sub-yugs that are distributed in the ratio of 4:3, 3:2, 2:1. In a Mahayug, the Kali Yug is the shortest yug and lasts for 432,000 solar years, followed by the Dwapar Yug, which is twice as long as 864,000 years. Then there's Treta Yug at 12,96,000 years, and finally the Satyug, which is 17,28,000 years.
I haven't seen this video, so I don't know how they came up with these year quantities and Kali Yuga. We did that video in the age of Kali Yuga.
Yeah. Well, isn't that the one we're in?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
But correct us if we're wrong. But I'm curious to know how they came up with separating these times.
And is there dispute among scholars? Is there dispute among people of what time we're in, how long the time frames are?
Yeah,
I wonder.
I don't know. Maybe this will answer it.
So in all, a Mahayug on Earth lasts for 4.32 million years.
Ooh.
Manvantar, the next major unit of time after a Mahayug in ancient Indian text, is called Manvantar. At the beginning of a Manvantar, new life forms are created, and at the end of it, those life forms are destroyed. This is how the cycle of life goes on in the ancient Indian texts. One Manvantar is said to last for 71 Mahayug, or 71 multiplied by 4.32 million years. This works out to be around 306.72 million years in total. According to these ancient texts, all life on Earth will eventually be destroyed after 306.72 million years of evolution. Interestingly, around 252 million years ago, the Earth experienced its largest mass extinction event. Most species on Earth were killed, including nearly 90% to 96% of all insects. This was also the only mass extinction period of insects on Earth. After each mass extinction of life forms, there is a period of recovery called Sandhikal. This period lasts for one Satyug or 1.728 million years. According to the latest estimates from modern science, it is believed that it took around 10 million years for life on Earth to recover after the Permian-Triassic extinction event. As you can see, it took our planet 10 million years to get back to its feet after suffering the greatest mass extinction in history. Kalp, day of the Brahma or universe. The universe has a day too. Just like our day on Earth is called Kalp, the time period for one Kalp is said to be equivalent to 14 Manvantars and the Sandhikal. So, there are 14 Manvantars and 15 Sandhikals in a Kalp. During the Sandhikal before the first Manvantar, no life has evolved yet. So, one Kalp equal to 14 multiplied by 306.72 million years plus 15 multiplied by 1.728 million years, which makes it one Kalp equal to 4.32 billion years. On the universal scale,
It's quite complex.
The math of spirituality.
Yeah, that's what this. It's a little bit different than in the beginning God made Earth and things on it. A little bit more complex.
Yeah. Who was this divinely inspired to? Who were the first people that recorded Hindu?
Or maybe it was like Hindu scholars like mapping the stars or something like that. Maybe something like that, like astrology or something.
Yeah.
I have no idea. Let us know.
one day is said to be 4.32 billion years long. This day is divided into a period of creation, where life forms are created, and a night period during which no creation takes place. Each of these periods is also 4.32 billion years long. In other words, one day of Lord Brahma on the universal scale is 8.64 billion years long. It's interesting to note that, according to modern scientific discoveries, the oldest life form on the Earth is 4.28 billion years old. Mahakalp, Kalp, a unit at universal scale, is further extended with days and years similar on Earth, so that a month at the universal scale is 30 Kalp, that is 30 universal days, and a year at the universal scale is 12 such universal months. This enables life forms to rise and fall in accordance with the karma they have earned. On the universal scale, 100 years are defined as the lifespan of a universe. This is called a Mahakalp. A universe is said to end at the end of its 100 years of age. So, the lifespan of an entire universe is 8.64 multiplied by 30 multiplied by 12 multiplied by 100 billion years, which totals to around 311.04 trillion years. The ancient Indian texts says that our universe is currently on the first day of its 51st year. During this day,
That's a little bit different than I thought. The evolutionary scientific world was saying that the universe was. They thought that it was 17 trillion or billion, something like that. But it definitely wasn't 311 trillion. But it's interesting how they came up with this number.
Yeah. I paused it because I was imagining some young Hindu scholar memorizing all the math, memorizing the numbers, and a type of person that would be, have catalog all these stories in a very orderly and meticulous way. This is the whole story. I memorized the story of Shiva. I memorized that these are my favorite gods, but here's the math on all of it. And I just know that I would be such a troublemaker if I lived in that culture. Because I would be fascinated with the art. I would just be enthralled with how cool it all looked. I'd be like, yeah, I don't want to care about the math. I just, And then I would be like drawing aliens. Like I'd be like, hey, check it out. When you go to another planet, they have Vishnu and everything, but they look like an alien. It's the same stories and everything, but they're from alien perspective, because I was thinking about how they all look humanoid.
Yeah.
And I wonder if on other planets they've got the same gods, but they look like whatever creatures they are.
Oh, I don't doubt it.
Right. But see, that ramble I just said, I know is from a very divergent perspective, where most people who take this belief seriously probably just concerned with getting it down and understanding it so they can effectively use it. And I go elsewhere in my mind with all of it. I'm like, if I go sit somewhere and enter into an altered state, would I get some revelation? Would all this information come to me and I'd be like,
this is such an ancient tradition. I bet you they have libraries filled with books.
It's got to be.
I guarantee it, of like...
so many religions do. So many religions have, secret knowledge.
But I've also heard of sad things where like they collected tons of information and then the libraries were like burnt down in a war.
Yeah, something goes missing.
Yeah, hopefully that didn't happen with this stuff.
Yeah. Anyway.
We are in the Kali Yuga of the 28th Mahayuga of the 7th Manvantar. So, we have come to the calculation once again. According to ancient Indian texts, the age of the universe is 50 universal years plus 6 Manvantars plus 7 Sandhi Kal plus 28 Mahayuga. 50 universal years equal to 8.64 multiplied by 30 multiplied by 12 multiplied by 50 billion years equal to 155,520 billion years. 6 Manvantars. 6 multiplied by 306.72 million years equal to 1,840.32 million years. 7 Sandhi Kal. 7 multiplied by 1.728 million years equal to 12.096 million years.
My kryptonite is math. If you want to know the secret way to
take you down,
my one weakness is
just
math.
throw a bunch of numbers at you. Although I bet you there's somebody who's loving this. Like, yeah.
Oh yeah. Which is, hey man, that's admirable.
Yep.
28 Mahayuga. 28 multiplied by 4.32 million years equal to 120.96 million years. So, the age of the universe, as per ancient Hindu texts, is 157.49 trillion years.
There it is.
Modern science tells us that the universe is around 13.799 billion years old. However, ancient Indian texts predict a much longer timeline. Ancient Indian texts says that the age of the universe is around 311 trillion years.
And who knows, they might be right. Remember we did that video, I forget what that scientist, it was that news report where he was talking about how the James Webb was seeing things out in the universe that made it look like the universe was way older than what they thought it was. Because he said by modern science, they say that it was like 13.9 trillion years old. But now new discoveries have revealed that it's probably way older than that.
Well, let me play around a little bit here. So the fact is that the only thing that's ever happening is the present. The past is a complete illusion, and the future is a complete illusion too. This is the only thing that's happening, real time. A second goes by. This is the only thing that's happened. This is the only thing that's happened. So what if the universe is designed that wherever you look for an answer, you will find one, and you can be drawn into whatever meticulous pursuit you can. It's not like mantras don't exist where they're like, go say this mantra, and somebody's like, goes off and you do something to occupy your time. If the thing you want to occupy your time with is mathematically scaling how old the universe is, it will be present to you. I was thinking about how when I was a kid, I came across biology books where they would show like the anatomy of a human, and I didn't understand it. And then as you get older, things that become like childlike basic things get more and more complex. The information gets more and more complex.
Yeah.
What if, from a solipsistic viewpoint, we all are co-creating this reality in real time, and as we face reality, the answers fill the space of our curiosity? You know what I mean? It's a wild, crazy theory.
Yeah.
But what I'm essentially saying is, I would never waste my time trying to figure out how long anything is.
Yeah.
And I'm the type of person that would entertain the idea that if you seek an answer, it will be there, and it'll be as complex as you want it to be, and it'll be as mathematically exact as you want it to be. But
Maybe as challenging as you want it to be.
Challenging as you want it to be. Bingo. But what if it's a lot more simple than that? You can manifest all of it just by, it's God, baby. It can manifest whatever it wants, either as simple or complex or as mysterious as it wants to. Ooh. What do you think? Was that a decent rant?
Well, I can't disprove your theory as much as I can't disprove this one.
I know.
So it's just, it's food, it's fun, food for thought.
Different ways of thinking of things.
Huh.
This video is only an attempt to appreciate the great scale of time on which ancient Indians were working. We do not come across any other ancient civilizations that talk in terms of billions or trillions of years of calculations with specific names given to such large periods of time. Like the famous American cosmologist Carl Sagan said in his book Cosmos, the Hindu religion is the only one of the world's great faiths dedicated to the idea that the cosmos itself undergoes an immense, indeed an infinite, number of deaths and rebirths. It is the only religion in which the time scales correspond to those of modern scientific cosmology. Its cycles run from our ordinary day and night to a day and night of Brahma, 8.64 billion years long, longer than the age of the Earth or the Sun, and about half the time since the Big Bang. Thank you so much guys for watching this video.
One thing I would like to ask, or maybe just note, is that it seems like many faiths, many religious belief systems, philosophies and stuff like that, I wonder if this is a new thing, that they have some type of bridge or tie with science. Because notice how we've looked at a lot of faiths and religions now, right?
Right.
And it seems like they're all of them are trying to pull science onto their side a bit, or say that science is a part of our thing.
Right.
It just seems like it's something worth noting, and I'm depending on how bent you are towards your belief system, you're going to want to be probably so you see the science validates my thing,
right,
maybe more than yours.
Right. Well, there's just so many different ways of regarding it. There's a way of regarding it where somebody would be absolutely certain that yes, this was the way people tried to explain things when people didn't know shit. You know what I mean? This is how people explain. This is what explaining things looks like when you don't know science. But I think this thing you're saying is that it seems like for a long time science was part of religion in the sense of it was a, why would science not be included?
Was it? Would they call it science?
Right.
Or was it just pure observation of this is how it is? Or
right.
Saying that.
But sometimes I get the sense that people at one point were more mythically minded in the absence of hardcore materialistic science.
Yeah.
There is a way to think about science long enough to realize its limits, and then you return almost to a relenting. You give into the fact that things are pretty mysterious in the universe, but we're pretty materialistic nowadays, and seems like there's been a big falling away from people being hook, line, and sinker into spiritual things. But you can be surprised by everything. I think sometimes the sense is that once you become a master, once you become some kind of enlightened being, the whole universe is your teacher, and you can find lessons in everything. Somebody was telling me the other day about a Bible verse, talking about David before he fought Goliath, and it was a very simple part. He was saying, first I fought a lion, and then I fought a bear, and then I fought Goliath. And I was like, that is profound, because the faith it would have taken to fight Goliath, he would have we were talking about the issue of building your faith over time.
Yeah.
That amazing things are possible because there's scriptures that allude to the fact that you can move mountains with faith, but you don't just jump into the type of faith that can move a mountain. And then he was relating it to this passage of David first fighting a lion, first fighting a bear, building up his thing, and then he was like, of course I can fight Goliath. Look at these other things I can trust myself in. And then that belief, right?
Someone commented today on a past Sadhguru video that we did. Just left a comment today saying that you know science and our belief system, they're one thing. They're together.
Right. They're like, except for the thing here is that science is limited too.
Yes.
So is it as limited or as fruitful as science?
Yeah.
You know, it's all one thing.
Yeah. Well, anyway, guys, we want to know what you have to think about this. Maybe there's something that we missed, some things we got right. Let us know. Help us out here. We're learning and growing off of these videos. And if you did like this video, don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, share with a friend, and everybody, until next time, stay spiritual.